the World Healing Tour movement with your host, Noah Crane. Heal yourself, heal the world.
Hey everybody, my name is Lisa Ray. I'm a literary agent and I'm working with the media team here at The Grass Grows where I am, and we are so excited to bring you a co-author experience where you will grow your brand and your visibility. Click the link below and apply now for free, and we will see you inside the pages of The Grass Grows where I am.
Hello, and welcome to the World Healing Tour podcast, where our mission is to help you heal yourself so you can heal the world. Hi, my name is Noah Crane. Each week, we will bring you tips and tools and inspire you to live your most empowered and joyful life. I'm also the author of the book, The Grass is Greenest Where I Am, because the grass is greenest where you are when you say so. When you choose to live in a place of no comparison, no competition, and no scarcity. When you choose to live in your own love and light and share your unique gifts with the world, because we're all unique. That's why it's called World Healing Tour, because when you heal yourself, you truly create that ripple effect for others to heal as well. And that's what it's all about. Right now, I'm really excited. I just wanted to share one more thing with you. I'm working on an amazing book called The Grass Grows Where I Am. You'll see some commercials on here. We're almost completely full with this book, and it's a great opportunity to collaborate with other like-minded people who want to bring their message to the world. The book will be published this September 13th this year. And you'll be a best-selling author. You'll have your book in Audible. You'll be part of events and part of something bigger than you can ever imagine. So I want to welcome you to apply, and we'd look forward to hearing from you. So we'll put a link in there. Every week, I bring incredible guests into studio to pour into you and help you on your journey. I am really moved by my guest today. If you look up resilience in the dictionary, her picture will definitely come up. She's amazing. She's been through so much, and she's never given up. She just keeps pushing forward. She doesn't let her circumstances or anything that she's been through stop her from getting to where she wants to be, because her mindset is so strong, and she knows that she has God on her side. I want to welcome to my podcast, to the World Healing Tour podcast, Lisa Lynch. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you, Noah. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so honored to be here.
Yeah, it's such an honor to have you. And this was just meant to be for us to talk about this, because like I said, you've been through so much, and I can't wait for you to share your story with others, and to show people that nothing's impossible if you believe, because your faith is so strong. Why is your faith so strong, Lisa? Let's start with that.
Well, my faith is strong because ever since I was born, I always felt a connection to God. And I've been through several near-death experiences, and I think each one brought me closer to something bigger than myself. So, I've really had to put my faith to the test many times in my life. So it's only gotten stronger and stronger. So when I did have the accident,
Yeah, so we're going to talk about
we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I was able to really tap into my faith in those moments that I really needed to.
In the darkest moments of your life, right?
Yes.
I mean, right now, I have a little bit of an injury on my knee. And so I'm like limping a little bit, and I'm literally, it's literally like screwing with me a little bit, because I'm a healthy person. I take good care of myself. And I know you do too. Right? And you've had something happen to you much worse than having like a knee injury. You actually had a horrible accident that left you paralyzed from the waist down, right? Let's talk about that. And let's first talk about the accident and what happened on that day.
So October 13, 2011 was the day that changed my life. I had recently gone through a job loss, and I was kind of at a crossroads. What should I do? Because I wasn't expecting it. So I was doing a little soul searching, and I thought, why not keep my daughter home a half a day of school? And I was part of the boat club membership. I had a membership for the boat club. So I booked a day on the boat to go out with some friends. And
you loved being on the boat, right?
Yes.
That was like your favorite thing, to be on the water, to be on the boat.
And I moved to Florida when I was 18 from Long Island, New York. My parents had moved me when I was 17 to New Jersey, and I didn't have the beach near me. So when I was going to college, I said, I'm moving to Florida. So I moved down to Florida. And I came here in the sun and the sand. I fell in love. So I've been a Florida girl for most of my life and adult life, and I always wanted to be boating. And I had finally made that dream a reality a few years prior to the accident. So I was living the salt life and, you know, a total beach girl whenever I could. So
You were living your best life.
I was living my best life. I had just went to St. John on vacation prior to my job loss. So I was taking my family in places that I had dreamed about. And we were exploring life, you know, taking family vacations. And I didn't see what was coming a few months later. So October 13th, 2011, we decided to take the boat out. And it was a beautiful day. We went out on the boat. And we went out the Palm Beach Inlet. We decided to go on the ocean and come back the intercoastal because the kids like to go tubing. So we thought, well, it was such a calm day. We were like, let's try the ocean. So we were going to go out to the Boynton Inlet from Palm Beach Inlet, and we went out about maybe 30 minutes. And right before that, there was a Coast Guard boat that came by, and there was a big rogue wave that had come in, and we were actually going at a high rate of speed.
Was that because of the boat?
Well, we were over in the ocean, so we kind of crossed the Coast Guard boat, and then I didn't see any other waves coming because you have to there are waves that'll come towards the boat when a boat's going by. So we had already passed those waves, and then probably about 10 minutes later, we started, you know, going a little faster. Well, there was a wave in the middle of the ocean that I didn't see. So my daughter, who happened to be standing on the boat right before the accident, I had grabbed her and sat her next to me because she was making me nervous. She was 9 years old at the time. And when I sat her down, I looked over and there was the wave. So I wasn't able to hold on. And so I was holding on to her. And when we hit the wave, I got thrown all over the front of the boat. And I kept landing landing down hard and having a fall on my, on where I was sitting. And when the fall and all the trauma was over, I didn't know where my legs were. I felt completely, I knew something terrible had happened, and I started screaming, I can't feel my legs, I can't feel my legs. And they came over and they pinched me. My husband was a police officer, and he pinched my leg, and he realized what I was saying was true. And then I started feeling this feeling of not being able to move. And when I moved, I knew what I was feeling was very dangerous because I felt like, I want to say the word electricity. So it was very, very severe in that particular moment. And I didn't know if I was going to make it to shore safely. So it was really very, very scary.
Yeah, and was it painful as well?
Yes, very painful because what they did was they laid me on the front of the boat so that the impact would be less, because every time I was getting moved, I was feeling more and more of something I shouldn't have been feeling. So I was afraid I'd go into shock, and I actually looked at the sun, and the sun was actually keeping me alive in that moment until I could get to shore.
Wow, that had to be so traumatic.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because I knew to look at the sun, and I knew the sun was saving me. The light, it was the light, it was the light, it was the light, right? And I think the light's always there, and I'm so blessed that I knew to intuitively tap into that energy from the sun, right? From that it would keep me safe in those moments. Because I wasn't ready. I knew that I didn't want to. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know in that moment, but I knew that I wanted to live.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
And I knew I had a family. I had children that I wanted to be. I wanted to be here.
Of course. So in one moment, this wave hits your boat, and it completely changes everything for you. Let's talk about that. What happened next?
Yeah. So I got safely to shore, and the paramedics were waiting for me. So they had, worked on me, got me off the boat safely, and they airlifted me to the hospital. When I got to the hospital at St. Mary's, they had already called in a neurosurgeon, and he had given me the news that I had burst fractured my back, and I was pressing on the spinal cord 90%. So it was very, very severe. So they basically said, we really think you should have surgery, or else we don't know what's going to happen. So in that moment, I opted for the surgery, trying to spare my life. And I remember going to sleep and waking up and being in the most traumatic pain that you could imagine. So I was very blessed that no one left me alone in the beginning, because I really was terrified of everything that my body had gone through. And I wasn't moving my legs much or really feeling anything, but I was in horrific, horrific pain. So that was very challenging, getting through those grueling first few days, realizing I couldn't even get out of the bed. I had they taught me how to use a sliding board to slide to get to the bathroom. So I had zero mobility after the accident. So I didn't know what my life was going to look like. So about 2 weeks after going through the first initial...
So you had the surgery, right?
So I opted, yes, I went for the surgery because at that time, I really thought that was the only choice I had to survive. And I was feeling the compression on my spinal cord.
Yes.
That was that feeling I was feeling. And I knew that wasn't good. So I opted for the surgery. Hindsight, I don't know if, I know I can't change what's already been done, but now that I know what I know, it was the best decision I made at the time, and I have peace with it. But I wish I didn't have hardware on my back right now after the fact. But at the time, it was the right decision.
And it was an emergency.
And it was
you had to do something.
Yes. And I wanted to live for my children, so I just went for whatever the doctor said I listened to, basically.
And how many kids do you have?
I have 2 children. I have a son, Ryan, who's now 29, and I have a daughter, Kaylee, who is 23. And my daughter's a nurse, and she works at the hospital that I was at, which is so coincidental, right? And my son's an amazing golfer. So yes, my children are grown now.
There's no coincidence. I mean, she saw her mom struggle and she wanted to help others. And the fact that she worked in the same hospital that you were taking care of is just incredible.
It is incredible.
She must be an amazing woman.
She is. She's so caring. So about 2 weeks after I had the accident, I was learning how to adjust to being in a wheelchair, right? I was trying to stand. They were holding my legs and trying to do PT with me, and had to learn how to get into a car. I had to really be fully rehabilitated. So that was kind of what my life was going to look like. And about 2 weeks into what happened, I was alone for the first time, and I got a message from God, because, we have those God moments. And God had said to me, there's a cross over my bed, I remember distinctly, and God said, you're going to walk again. It's going to be a long journey. And they're not giving you much hope, but there's hope. And that was all that I knew.
That's all you needed to hear.
And that was all I needed to hear. So I did, after the first 4 years of trying to rebuild my life, I was in bed most of the time because I was in extreme chronic pain. And I had a condition called, what was it called? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's the most painful condition, CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome. So basically your nervous system went through so much trauma that you're constantly sending pain signals throughout your body. So I had to do a lot of treatments to get my pain managed. And I did a lot of alternative type things like ketamine I finally did, which really kind of helped me a few years in. But the first few years was really hard to adjust because I was in so much pain. Physical pain really can wear you down. And once I had done some of the,
like I said, I have a little knee pain and it's wearing me down. So to have what you're going through, like seriously, like it's unbelievable to be able to, and like you said, like you deal with what you have, right? You didn't have a choice at that point. You just had to deal with what you had. And it's amazing that you were able to keep yourself so strong through that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So once I had done the ketamine therapy, what happened was I could disassociate from the pain of it.
What is ketamine?
Ketamine is a treatment where it's one of the treatments for CRPS. So basically, you reset your brain so you're not on the constant loop of pain signals. So it's sort of like it causes a disassociation from the pain so that your brain can regroup and reprocess something new. I think that would be the easiest way to describe it. Now, one of the things was I had a really bad trip and I was in the hospital when I had the ketamine treatments at Cleveland Clinic. That was really scary. But I was in so much pain that I did another 2 days of it to get out of pain. And I'm so glad I did, because that really did change my life. So the following year, it was 4 years about in bed, you know, trying to go out and do life again. But when you're in pain, like I said, it's really hard to really function at the level that you can.
Yeah. Let me ask you something just to kind of stop right here, and then we'll go forward with it, because it's fascinating, you know, what you're doing and how you're healing yourself. But I want to ask you, what happened with your kids and the relationship with your kids? Did it strengthen it? Did it weaken it? Like what happened at that point? Because I know it affected you and your relationship with your husband.
Yes, it affected all my relationships. It really did. It was hard. It was hard getting disabled because I wasn't born that way. And the world's a little bit different in a wheelchair. So it wasn't bad. It was just a new life. And a lot of the things I love were really hard to do, like go to the beach, because I'd have to get 3 or 4 people to take me anywhere. So trying to navigate all of those new, we'll call them challenges, right? Because it's challenges for anyone with an alternate mobility, because the world's really not designed for people 100% of the time with the conditions they're dealing with. Like I said, the beach, going on grass, not having accessible bathrooms. I mean, there's a lot involved with navigating life in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I mean, it was different. But over time, I realized that I was bigger than the wheelchair, and I never lost my zest for life. And that kept me going, because the spiritual component of me was so strong that enabled me to keep really going.
And where did that come from, that strong spiritual component? Was that from your upbringing? Was that from your belief and faith in God? Where did that strength come from? Or did you have friends around you that were really lifting you up during that time?
Well, I did have amazing friends and family helping me through those times, 100%. But where it really came from was 2 things. When I was 17, I had a near-death experience where my appendix ruptured, and I believe I crossed and came back already once. So I really had a feeling of what that unconditional love is. So I could tap into that feeling and knowing there was something bigger than myself. And also, when I was 25, unfortunately, my best friend passed away unexpectedly in a car accident, and I had to really dig in deep, because it was such a loss for me that my faith I really had to dig in and grow my spiritual faith with that also tragedy for me. So those 2 things really, I already had a faith that I could tap into. So I would say that it was already there. Like, I didn't have to go find it. I could go within and access it, right? Because it's not outside of you, it's inside of you.
So that's beautiful. So you already had a lot of inner confidence, right? You already had a lot of strength inside already. So you weren't going to let this break you, no matter what you were going through.
No, I wasn't going to let it break me. And I was determined to still have a good life despite my circumstances. And I did know from the very beginning that I was going to use this for good one day, and that I didn't know what it ever looked like, but I could see a vision that one day someone would have my story and know that they also could heal themselves. I just didn't know what it looked like back then.
I love that so much, because it's true that everything we go through is not necessarily about ourselves. It's about how we can help others and how we can, we go through our challenges, but then we inspire others on the journey to be able to get through their challenges. So I love that you're able to see it that way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But my children, when they were younger, I did a great job of still being mom. I went to my daughter's soccer games. She had great friends at the time. So there was so much support with like her life really stayed the same, as far as she was still doing her activities. She still had her friends at that age because she was almost 10. So that's, fourth, fifth grade. So she was flourishing. She really was. But I had a lot of support. And my son, he was a junior in high school. So he went off to college not long after. So getting through him through those times. But I did still show up, which was amazing. I still went to his golf matches. I still made sure that they did all the things to keep them healthy and vibrating.
How did your children process the fact that their mom is injured now and she can't do the things she used to do for them?
I think that...
Did they need therapy? Did they need...
Well, actually, my daughter's been in therapy for quite a long time now. She has her own thing that she does, and she found her own therapist, and she works on herself all the time, which I'm so proud of. My son is just like, he's my protector. I'm so blessed that I have a son that really looks out for me and always there for me. He's there for me 100% of the time.
And you were there for him 100% of the time.
Yes. I'm there for him 100% of the time as well. But he really stepped up because a few years later, I ended up getting separated from my husband, and he moved right in with me to make sure that mom was okay when he graduated college. So I was very, very blessed that, he's been showing up for me.
So
and my daughter too.
Yeah.
And my family and my friends. Like, I've had a lot of really amazing people show up for me, and that's meant the world to me. That's really what's gotten me far, because it's with people, right? That it's the energy and the love that can raise you. But there's been a lot of challenges. I'm not going to say the spiritual work's always easy. So 2015, about 10 years ago, I started, on a different path, and I just knew I still wanted to live. I didn't want to survive anymore. And so I got out of pain. I started going forward with my life. And I found a training called gratitude. Someone invited me to go to gratitude training. And because I had liked the spiritual stuff anyways, I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds like fun. And boy, I didn't know what I was getting myself into because the training it put me in a whole different direction in my life.
Yeah, no, that kind of training. I haven't done gratitude. I know they're no longer around gratitude, but I've done Landmark. And so it's very similar because, gratitude came out of Landmark. So
yes.
It's the same kind of people. So it's all taking responsibility, integrity, transformation work. It's all about, being powerful in your life, and it's not easy work, right? It's not easy to look at your stuff.
No,
but, yeah.
It put me on a whole new path. And I was also liberated because I felt that there was so much more in the world than what the limited views that I had that I was raised with, right? Or that like the world just opened up and I could see possibility. I could connect to purpose. I could step into power. Like I felt really empowered. But I also had a lot of work to do. I had a lot of internal work to do. I worked with Joe Petrosky for a long time on really going in and healing a lot of my childhood trauma. Yeah. And I know we all have something.
We all have it.
We all have
stuff. Anybody doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick commercial break from our sponsor, and we'll be right back with Lisa Lynch.
Hi, I'm Chris Trammell. I'm the marketing director for The Grass Grows Where I Am, and we can't wait to work with you. And if being in this anthology book would make a difference for your brand, your visibility, and your profitability, click the link below and let's get you started. Can't wait to work with you.
And this is our book anthology that I was talking about. These are commercials for the book anthology, telling you about we're closing in the end of this month, the end of June. The opportunity here to collaborate with other like-minded people, get your message out in the world, get your book on Audible, and collaborate with incredible people that want to get their message in the world, but not do it alone. Because I really believe collaboration is the power behind us really moving forward together and creating a legacy and being able to help others on a bigger platform. And that's what I'm committed to. So if you're interested in being a part of this anthology, go ahead and apply. It closes at the end of June. So I hope you reach out if you're interested. And we're back with Lisa Lynch. Lisa, so this is a great conversation. I'm learning so much about you. I wanted to find out what are some of the things you learned from gratitude that helped you deal with your traumas and all the things from the past?
Well, one of the things I learned is the ego and how the ego operates. That was really pivotal, right? Just really not to go on automatic and to be able to make changes in the way you see things and the way you show up. That was really powerful. Also, holding space for someone, because everyone's on a different part of their journey, but you're never alone. So if someone could hold space for you to grow into and see what they see. So that was very powerful. And I also really love coaching with people and being a stand once I had done the trainings a few times to actually transform and be part of other people's transformation. That was you learn a lot by you coaching someone, they're teaching you as well. So it has a ripple effect. For your growth.
Everybody learns from everybody. Like
yes.
You can't be closed-minded. Everybody has something to teach you.
Yes. So it'll show you also your feedback for yourself. So yes, we're all connected, and I feel that it really opened me up to what was coming now, how I could grow further in life, and how I could even get better and better and better, and how I could transform even higher, higher and higher, and how I could also follow my dreams. I was starting to dream again and seeing vision again. And that's what propelled me forward, is having vision. And I started stepping into helping people with disabilities get on the beach because I love the water. And I was able to really make an impact for a few years before COVID. And that was so inspiring for me to help people. So I knew that's something I was really passionate about. And then the last few years, I've really gotten into biohacking and taking my health to another level.
Yeah, let's talk about biohacking and what you've done and how you're helping others. I want to learn about that. First of all, define biohacking.
So I would define biohacking as going back to your original blueprint. So we're divine beings of light, and God created us perfectly with the basic elements, right? Air, water, cells, like the basics. So what I was learning was how I became really aware was I had a live blood analysis done, and I could see how my blood was full of heavy metals, and it was very toxic. None of my blood was flowing through. That was why I was having issues with circulation, because when you have a severe trauma like that, your brain is going to put you in survival mode, and you are going to send off chemicals in the body that's going to reduce oxygen to your tissue. This is a biology thing. So I really had to learn the body. I had to learn Eastern medicine, like Dr. Love taught me a lot. So I was a seeker for answers of the body because I still knew God had said I could heal myself one day. So I just did whatever it took. So it was sort of like the next step, the next step, the next step. But when I saw my blood, I did ozone treatment and I saw it open up, and then I felt different. And then the next right thing would show up. So I would go to different events and I would ask questions. And I bought a machine that read my energy field. So then I could try things and see, was it working? Was it not working? So I could see research-wise, and I could feel everything. It was really easy for me to feel something new because I was recreating a new body, or new pathways, new neurological, new blood, and then what I realized was water. Once I changed my hydration and I started getting the right filtered water and adding ozone to my water, and now I'm doing molecular hydrogen water, this is all keeping my cells, the free radicals out of my cells, so my body can heal itself on the inside, because you need to have healthy cells. And then I started using a glutathione product for the last year, that when I swish it in my mouth, I'm delivering glutathione to my cells. My liver and kidney functions improved drastically. So just going back to the basics is why I love biohacking so much.
Yeah, because it's such a common word these days, right? So it's cool when people can understand more what's biohacking and how to be able to. And what I love is that you're using holistic health to heal yourself. You're not using meds. You're looking for the holistic medicines to help you heal your body.
Yes, I'm basically using God's given elements to us, how God designed the body to heal myself, which is what's so beautiful. And it's, they call it a hack because your body is designed a certain way. Like, that's why cold plunging is so popular. You can change your nervous system by hopping in cold water, right? Your nervous system it'll like reset itself. And they also say, like, being in the sun in the mornings, that can send in a whole different processes. So we have so many, our bodies are so incredible. There's so many things going on behind the scenes that we don't even realize, right? And, so just basically going back to nature, being in the grass, doing PEMF, doing red light therapy. I do those types of things. I also do frequency, where I'll like go in different states on a necklace to help with my bioenergetic field. So healing holistically, there's a lot of modalities today that people can use. So I think it's what's best for you, right? Your intuition. What do you need? But doing the basics, your water, your cellular health, and are the most two probably critical things for the body, I feel like. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have a woman who's writing a chapter in the book, and she owns a company, a structured water company. And she talks about hydration and how important hydration is for the body,
Yes.
She actually sent me a gift, like this. It's this really cool bottle. It's like a handheld device that you pour the water through, and it makes your water alive again. It's so cool. I don't really know the name of it, but it's just the coolest thing. And you feel it when you drink it. You feel the water's alive. It's just like a totally different feeling than drinking it. It's still filtered, but it makes the water more like lake water, more alive. I don't know exactly the process of what it does. I need to ask her more about it.
But because we're 80% water, so that aliveness you're feeling is the water actually talking to your cells, because that's what our fascia is, all water, our interconnection system in the body. So that's what you're feeling. You're feeling that energy and that aliveness of your cells, feeling a difference with that water.
Yeah, for sure. And I just started using it, and I think it's so cool,
Yeah.
Do you think that everything is predetermined? Do you think, like, we already come here, it's already predetermined that we're going to go through certain things?
Yes. In my astrology chart, this is in there. My accident is in the astrology chart.
Wow.
And I'm also a wounded healer. So there's no coincidence of the path that I'm on. That's my mission. I'm a light worker, and I'm here to make a difference.
No, I love that you say that, because every time, like, I go through challenges or things happen or somebody rejects me or whatever it is, right? I always have to remind myself I'm a light worker. I'm here to create more light. I'm not here. It doesn't matter. Like, don't get stuck on those minutiae.
Detachment.
Right?
Detachment.
Yeah.
But we have to learn these.
Yeah. It's not important. Like, my mission is so much bigger than like something a little bump or a little thing. Like, I'm here to make a huge impact and a huge difference, and I'm doing God's work here. I'm not here, to play small. So when you say I'm a light worker, you're putting yourself in a place of like a responsibility. Like, you have a big responsibility to the world, to the planet, to others, so that's how I see it, and I think the collective consciousness is what is really going to change this world, right? We're not going to heal this world through wars, through disagreements, through hate, through
No.
politics, through opinions. Who cares about your opinion, right? You know what they say about opinions, right? Nobody's going to heal this way, right? It's going to heal when we come together. It's going to heal when we are more compassionate, more caring towards each other. It's going to heal when we lift each other, right? We're not there to squash each other. We're here to support one another. And so, you know, that's what it's all about. And I'm sure this journey that you've been through has made you even a more compassionate person.
Yes, definitely. I definitely have a lot of compassion, and I've also really been on a journey of self-love, right? I've had to completely, I want to use the word recreate myself and create a new identity. I've had to
A new story.
a new story. I actually changed my name to Elisa, and you called me Lisa, which is perfectly, that is what I was born with. Lisa Marie Seppo, I was born, and now I'm Lisa Lynch, but I actually kept having a message from God, Elisa, you need to be Elisa, you need to be Elisa. I kept dreaming about it. So one day I woke up and I say, why do they keep saying it? Why do I keep hearing I have to be Elisa in my dreams? So I Googled it and it met God's promise. So I said, oh, okay, you want me to step into my miracle now. It's time. So just by changing, and it's my chosen name. You can call me Lisa, Elisa. It doesn't, I'm not like attached to either one, but I love that I could step into what empowered the miracle,
Yeah,
right?
and you get to
a
say
new
so.
story.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Joe Dispenza's work talks about you have to change your energy, you have to change your story, you have to change your identity. And a lot of the events that I've been to over the years, they've all taught me you have to become someone new, right?
And you can.
And it's that we can be anyone we want to be.
Yes.
That's
You
what
get
our
to say it.
imagination.
I'm actually going to go into my phone and change your name to Alyssa.
It's perfectly fine. I was just using that as an illustration that, you know, we get these messages and we all have a purpose and we all have a reason of our soul contracts, right? Why we came here for. And I can't think of a better life than living in purpose and making the world a better place. I can't think of a better gig in town, honestly. There isn't a better gig in town.
No, there's nothing better than doing God's work here on the earth, right? Because you're thinking of the collective consciousness and not just about yourself. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to transition one day. And so we get to leave this planet, this world better for other people to walk. And I think many people have done it before us. And that's why we get to have so many more luxuries and so many great things today. But there is still a lot of pain in the world, you know? There's a lot of hate, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of killing. And I have to say to myself, like, why? Like, why is there so much hate? Why is there so much anger? Why is there so much separation? You know, it's sad, but it's out there. You look anywhere, right? And it's,
Well,
you know, we're kind of like a narcissistic society, you know?
Yeah, we kind of are.
And it's sad. And so us, the healers, us, the people that really care, that want to make a difference, that's part of the mission, is to put those differences aside and realize that we're really all the same, you know? We're all one.
We are all
one, you know?
We're all
There's
one.
no difference between the difference that's in your mind or in your delusions or in whatever it is, or the separations you make between yourself. Because it's not the reality. And we're only going to heal the world and the planet when we can collectively realize that, you know?
I agree. And it was funny, last weekend, one of the key takeaways I got at the event we were at was life is 90% spiritual,
Yeah.
10% physical, 90% spiritual. So when you brought up the world the way we are, it's because a lot of the spiritual part of life is missing.
Yeah.
Or it needs to be
Absolutely.
elevated. So
Yeah.
once we see that shift, and that's what we're here for, to get that to as many people we can bring to 90%, is going to make the world a better place.
Yeah. Amen. I agree on that 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I didn't know, last weekend, that was a really pivotal takeaway that I took.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And what was the name of the event we went to? Just
Visionary Edge
the
2025.
Visionary Edge.
Yeah, it was
2025.
great.
That was a great event.
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
I only came one day, but I know you were there the whole time. So they're amazing women, and I love Sam and Janelle. They're doing amazing things to bring people together as well. So
Yeah, we're up to
Yeah.
some great things.
yeah, definitely. And I would totally have to agree with that. That it's 90% spiritual. Who is that? Was there a certain speaker that?
Yeah, I forget who said it, but I took a screenshot. I was like, wow, I knew I was supposed to hear that. I knew I'd be sharing that.
I
'Cause
love that when you just
Mhm.
know like you needed to hear something.
Yeah, definitely. That was a great event, by the way.
It was awesome. We loved
The
it.
speakers were
Yeah.
yeah, it was
I wasn't there the whole
really-
time, but you were there the whole time, right?
Yes, but I think Saturday was you were there the best, one of the best.
No, I came on Sunday.
Oh, you came Sunday.
I wasn't there on Saturday. I wish I was, but
No, it was Friday, Saturday.
oh, it was Friday, Saturday. I
you
came
came
on
on Saturday.
on Saturday. That's
Yeah,
right. That's
Saturday.
right. I
Yeah,
did come on
Saturday was
Saturday.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
the
did
event
come.
was amazing.
Yeah, they
Both
did a
days
great
were
job.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
actually.
they were awesome. So we're giving them a nice plug here.
I know it was great, and Dr. Dan, of course, did amazing.
I love
And
Dr. Dan.
yeah.
Dr. Dan is an amazing person. I love him. Great. So you're gonna walk again, right?
I'm walking now with
You're
crutches.
walking now. Let's
I
talk-
am
let's-
walking
let's
now.
talk about
I'm actually
that.
walking now. So the last few years, I had to put a lot of puzzle pieces together. So I would say my journey's been about 1,000 steps, literally over the years, and it was spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. And this year, the last few months, I've really uncovered some amazing things that I didn't know. So one thing led me, like synchronicities, right? One thing leads to the next and leads to the next. Right now I'm doing a therapy called neural organization, reorganization technique, where we're going through my eyes and we are unprogramming the trauma, because the brain takes a snapshot of what happened. So now I'm doing some brain work, and I'm really seeing even more changes in my body.
I love that. Have you heard of Dr. Morse?
No.
He also he takes a picture of your eye. He goes by your eye, and he heals you through fruit. I gotta give you the information. He's incredible. He's like world renowned, and he's healed a lot of people. And it's with a fruit diet. You only eat fruit, you know. But he has a way to heal your body with fruit, and he could tell through your eyes exactly what's going on with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say the eyes are the window to the soul, also, right?
Yeah. By the way, you have beautiful eyes.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, you
Thank
do.
you. Appreciate that. They're getting brighter too. I look at older pictures of me when the accident happened, and they were dark. They were very dark. And now my light's finally back on. So 'cause I feel good, right? It's all about, what are you hydrating with? Are you giving yourself, like, just doing the daily regimens, the regimen I do every day on keeping my inside ready to go is really, it's the most important thing, is your daily habits, right?
So let's talk about your daily habits. Do you have rituals that you do on a daily basis? How do you structure your day so it's going to be a great day?
Well, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I thank God every day, and I connect with the higher power and spirit, and I give 3 to 5 things that I'm thankful for that day. And I do some breath work before I get out of bed to kind of relax my nervous system, because that's been the biggest journey, is healing the nervous system, and the nervous system can be healed. So I do that, and then I will do some pool therapy right now. I love walking. As soon as I get in the pool, I just start walking.
Do you have a
which is
pool at your
beautiful.
house?
No, I have one in my community.
Okay, so you go
And
to
I-
the community pool
yeah.
every morning.
Every morning I go to just about every morning, or I'll go to the gym. I'll do one or the other. I've been had an amazing trainer, Tracy, for 10 years, who was with me, keeping me in shape. So that's the other thing. You've got to keep doing it. Even if I couldn't move, I was still trying to move, so the brain didn't forget about the rest of the body. So there's a lot of power in the mind and what the mind can remember. Neuroplasticity, right? Just even thinking it is not going to atrophy as much. So I do that. Then I try to eat a healthy diet. I do glutathione swish in the morning. I do a few other supplements. And then I do a brain in the afternoon. I also do a swish for the brain. And I drink hydrogen water all day. So that's really...
Have you heard of light water? It's coming out. I'm going to tell you all about it.
Okay,
It's
well-
pretty incredible. Pretty amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff.
And I also in the morning, I go and watch the sunrise. So I get the vitamin D first thing in the morning. So movement, right? Crucial. Movement's really powerful.
Do you meditate?
I do meditate. I meditate before I go to bed every night. And I give thanks from the morning. I give thanks again. And I really try to connect with the angels at night. I try to go in that high theta state where I can, that's where I feel the most peace. And I also tap into loving myself at the end of the day. Because that was the other part of the journey. I really had to learn to love myself again. And I had to do that really deep work.
Did you lose it? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Did you lose the love from the accident, or was it not there before?
I don't know if I ever really had the tools to really love myself. I don't think I had them. So, I think when we're young, we make up stories about things, and it depends. Like when I was young, someone hit our house when I was 7 years old, a drunk driver, and I remember how scary that was. We were dancing on Christmas Eve, and somebody hit the house, and it sounded like an explosion. And I was just a little girl then, and I had 3 younger brothers and sisters, and he almost killed my brother coming into the house because my brother was in the crib. And I remember being so scared, and I don't know, I feel like I kind of disassociated after that. You know, being a young child and you go through things.
That's very scary experience,
know,
by the way.
It
do you
was.
feel like you lived a lot of your life kind of like an autopilot and kind of
survival
and being numb inside?
Yeah,
like just kind of like going through the motions, like a lot of us out there do sometimes.
Yes, I feel also like fear was really running the show. And then when I was 11, I had some other traumas that were adverse traumas. I had sexual trauma at a young age also. So that really, it's just really hard to talk about, but I feel like I need to be honest because I know there are other people that could have gone through something like that, but I didn't realize how that affected my self-esteem until I did the work. You kind of bury things and you don't ever tell anyone, and that ends up not being dealt with. It's in your it's lodged in your body. Yeah. So I had to, have some forgiveness work, right? So I had to do all the work. Like there was no shortcut. I had to really go in and my subconscious when I was working with Joe, he was able to.
Joe Dispenza?
Joe Petrosky.
Okay.
He's a well-renowned intuitive healer, and he really was the guy that really, really held space for me and got me to flourish and to find my magnificence that I already had, but it was a little dormant.
It was buried.
It was buried. Yes. And I think that, that's it's not something that happens overnight, right? No, I feel like it happens, growth happens, and then you'll have a breakdown and then a breakthrough, right? So we're here learning lessons, and we're here to find unconditional love for yourself and all things.
And to know that we're worthy.
Yes.
Because if you don't know you're worthy, how can you truly be the person you're meant to be, right? Because you don't think you're worth of things, you don't think and how can you really choose powerfully if you don't think you're worth it, right?
Yes.
And to stop living invisible, right? Because when we live invisible in that place of just, numbness, we can't really connect to the things that we can really grow us and make us become who we are. So I believe that everything you went through helped you go deeper within yourself to be able to heal those spaces in your body, in your subconscious, in your life, so you can actually, bloom like a beautiful flower.
Thank you. I feel that. I really feel that. And I have to agree. I feel like it was a gift now. I have such peace. And I'm on to such God's bringing so many opportunities to me to really impact the world. And I'm so, so excited for what's going to be coming next. So I'm so happy that I have tools, right? That I can do the work and I know how to do the work. And I trust that I'll be guided as long as I surrender to the higher purpose. God has it all figured out for us.
We're always guided. We just have to learn to listen.
Yeah.
If we're not listening, we're going to miss the guidance. But if when we listen, the guidance is always there, you know?
It is. We also have to receive too, right? Receiving is a superpower, especially as women. Because I know I was a giver. Are you a giver, being a mom?
yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
we're nurturers, right? We're
Yeah.
moms, so we're naturally givers. So, surrender, really, I had that lesson. I mean, I actually tattooed them on my arm because it was this path every time. Surrender, trust the process, receive. Because I had to receive healing from the higher power. And unconditional love is always the frequency. So that is the pathway to healing, I would say. And that's what's going to be in my book. So,
Yeah, I love that. What's your book called?
well, right now I have a few different titles. It will most likely be something along the line of UnParalyzed, and it's a spiritual book. So I'm not sure if it's UnParalyzed by faith, UnParalyzed by grace, UnParalyzed by faith and grace, but those two names, I feel that grace is a superpower that is really healing me, is the grace that I got from God.
And the grace that you give yourself, right?
Yes. But grace was a lesson I probably really found within the last 6 months.
What does grace mean to you?
Grace is the superpower that I'm forgiven for all of my sins and I am loved unconditionally, and I can give grace. I can receive grace and I can give grace to
others.
To others.
That's beautiful.
It just makes it's like the magic fairy dust of love to me.
Is grace connected to forgiveness to you?
Well, we receive grace. It's the gift. Forgiveness is also a gift because you have to forgive in order to not have bitterness or resentment in your heart. I mean, I did have a heart wall. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress because I did have my heart broken. Physical limitation, I think, really, I had a broken heart a little bit, but I know that.
Welcome to being human.
Yes, I had a full human experience, but you know what? I have more love in my life now. I'm in love with all of life. It doesn't have to be a person, a thing. I think it's a way of being.
I love that.
Like
Absolutely.
who you are. You either, but when you can tap into that grace, you feel love inside of your cells, inside of your heart. And that enables us to be even more powerful, and more light can come in through love. Love is the basis of life. It really is. And hindsight, I'm glad I know it at 57, right? But I can't wait for the next, however long God has me here to really embody that love. It's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I love that so much. And you really are shining. You have such an aura and a beautiful light about you. And I'm sure everywhere you go, you bring that light with you. So people are really lucky to be in your presence. And you're like such a warrior. Like, you've come through so much. Your resilience is unbelievable, right? You didn't let it break you. I mean, you get around everywhere.
I
mean,
do
you're
everything.
everywhere.
I get around
You're
everywhere. I've never let anything stop me. That was one thing that I never wanted my disability to prevent me from living my life. Now, were there days that it did? Yes. But as an overall picture, I don't think anyone would ever say that anything stopped me. And that's so powerful, right? That's just
so powerful.
It's so powerful. So
It's
I'm glad I'm an
amazing.
Aries, right? I'm an Aries. So
I love Aries.
it's good that I'm I don't want to say the word headstrong, but I got a ram for a head. So yeah, and then I'm also have some Pisces in me. So the Pisces is the water.
I'm Pisces. So.
Yeah, and they're just love bugs.
Pisces love Aries. I love Aries. I have a lot of Aries friends, So you're even going, now when you travel, when you go places, like you said, you're going to Vegas, when you went to that event, do you need people to go with you, or are you totally self-sufficient, right?
Totally independent.
Nothing stops
I show
you.
up, I go to events, I do everything. I never, ever, ever let this accident or
Define you or shape you.
Yeah,
in
the
any
setback.
way.
We'll call it a setback. We'll call it a setback at the
Yes.
time. I don't feel a setback anymore. I'm living my best life right now, which is incredible. I just joined Healerverse, a mission so big, worldwide collaboration of healers, and we have the technology to take any business to the next level. I couldn't be more happy, and she's a similar story to mine. Like, it's all divine now. So I'm so excited for the future.
I love that so much. And so tell people how to find you, how to connect with you. If they're listening to our podcast here, where can they connect with you?
Well, you can reach me. I have over here. You can reach me at my website's elisalynch.net. I have some information on my story there. And I also have, you can reach me at Elisa at 5dhealerverse.com. That is for information on collaborating with us amazing holistic healers. There's a whole platform for us to work together, ticketing. We also have different events that we'll be doing in the community. And we also have different technologies if your business was interested in, you could reach out to me for. And if you just want to say hi, you can always message me on Facebook. It's Elisa Lynch. I'm also on Instagram and LinkedIn, Elisa Lynch.
I love that. Well, Lisa, it's been Elisa, not Lisa, Elisa. It's been such an amazing conversation. I so enjoyed speaking with you, getting to know you. I wish we had more time, but we will definitely continue to connect. And maybe we'll do this again.
I hope so.
I mean, you're so inspiring. And
I'm walking next time on stage. Can we do another one as soon as I'm fully walking?
Yes, I love that so much. The fact that you're not letting anything stop you, you should be like out there, like speaking, coaching people, and giving them hope and inspiration, because you have not let anything stop you. And you really are somebody that's an amazing example for others, and giving others hope that they can walk again and do what they need to. And even if they can't, they have to get the freedom in the mind, because the mind controls everything, right? The mind controls the body and controls everything. And the freedom's in the mind, right?
Yes, yes. And yes, I agree 100% what you're saying. And that will be coming.
Yes, I want to see that.
That will be coming.
I think that will be amazing.
That will be coming. And one day at a time.
Yes.
The next, hey, it's all about healing the world, right? One person at a time.
100%. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
truly
for having
been
me.
inspirational to have you here.
I'm so blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, beautiful. I want to thank you today for joining me on the World Healing Tour podcast. Until next time, remember to do these 3 important elements. Practice them every day. Number 1, every day remember to have a grateful heart and connect it to your gratitude. When you're connected to your gratitude, you will be connected to positive feelings and positive emotions, and therefore drawing more positive people, things, and experiences into your life. Number 2, remember every day to ground in love and compassion. First, love and compassion for yourself. And then you want to share that love and compassion with others, because whatever you put out will come back to you. So the more love and compassion you want in your life, you have to put an abundance of love and compassion out to everybody else. And number 3, remember that you are not alone on this journey. It's a guided journey. I say guided by God. So whether it's God for you, universe, higher power, source, whatever it is for you, know that it's a guided journey, and you just have to learn to listen, because you're never alone and you're always guided. Until next time, have a beautiful week, everyone. Namaste.
Beautiful.
Hi, this is Noah Crane. I'm excited to share this anthology book with you, The Grass Grows Where I Am. So just join us and be a part of this incredible book to help bring your message and influence into the world. We're excited to showcase what you do to make this world better. Click the link below. The World Healing Tour Movement with your host, Noah Crane. Heal yourself, heal the world.